So,
Yay.
as you all know, I am here on behalf of Isaac, Friends of Isaacs Foodbank. So, I wanted to share with you today a little bit about the person behind the food bank, because Isaac himself has a difficult but interesting story that I'd like to share with you all. And I'm going to take you back to October the 4th, 2011, when Isaac was born. Fairly typical pregnancy, fairly typical birth, and when he first arrived, he was a little bit slow to thrive, but otherwise he was the perfect little boy. As he started to grow and develop, we noticed that there were a few problems. He wasn't hitting the milestones expected. He was very clumsy, and he struggled a lot at his preschool and building relationships with his peers. And as he got closer and closer to school age, it became more of a worry. We had a lot more intervention. And then just before his fourth birthday, we had quite a major shock. The paediatrician had suggested some blood tests, and quite a specific set of blood tests called microarray, which look at all your genetics. And this was the result. And to you, those probably just look like a bunch of numbers and letters, but actually what they represent are two chromosome disorders. So the chromosome is there, but there's little bits missing. And I'm going to try and put this as simply as I can to try and help you understand a little bit. So here we have a map of Warwickshire, except you can see that there's little bits there missing. So we've lost Wellesbourne. Unfortunately, Wellesbourne's on a major road to the M40. So no traffic can get through. And it's either having to find a long, complicated way round, or it's stuck. And then we've got Studley and Coton representing that second chromosome. And again, you can see major route there through to the M42, but it's blocked. And this is very much what they're trying to unpick at the moment. The NRXM1 chromosome, there is some documentation. He's been invited onto lots of studies, which he's taken part of as part of this NRXM1 deletion. But the second one, SOX6, is completely unique to him. So he's the only person in the world with that particular genetic deletion. And obviously that's caused Isaac quite a lot of problems. You know, we've got a global development delay. He's got a learning disability. It's impacted his mobility. He's severely dyslexic and he has a sleep disorder. He's also being tested for ADHD, apraxia of speech, a conduct disorder, and they've suggested dyspraxia. So that's quite a long list of different things that these little bits of genetic data missing have impacted on how he manages and how his body works. And these are just some of the services that have been involved with Isaac. Hopefully you can see all this all right. And we've spent a lot of time focusing as this diagnosis went on all the things that he couldn't do. And as a parent, that's totally heartbreaking. And, you know, you feel depression and, you know, your mental well-being is affected when all anybody talks about is what your child can't do and what he may never do and what he's not capable of. And that was a really, really hard time. We tried him in mainstream school and that just didn't work for him. So he got moved in September 2020 into a specialist education setting called Rigby Hall in Bromsgrove. Because we were in the middle of COVID, he couldn't do any transition. One day he was at mainstream, broke up for school holidays, and in September was plonked into a brand new environment with people he'd never met. But actually that started to become the making of Isaac, because he was around other children that were similar to him. He wasn't isolated like he had been, and he wasn't in trouble all the time because they could more effectively manage his behaviour and tailor things to his needs. Absolute show of his resilience, which then we saw again in November 2020 when he suddenly wanted to take his food parcel into school. and couldn't because of COVID. They weren't letting people take anything in. So Isaac, being Isaac, decided to give everybody free food at his house instead. And you can see him with his first shop done at Aldi. We spent £40 on that. And the little pop-up greenhouse he put together with a broken arm and his food on it, ready for the community. Of course, that soon hit social media and the donations started to come in, which really boosted Isaac's confidence because people started talking about what a special thing he was creating. And from there, through his hard work, determination, passion, again, resilience, that one food bank turned into so much more. And for me as his mom, when we focused on the ability and not the disability, that totally changed my mindset and the way I felt about life. So you can see here with his now 5 food banks, Greenland's top right, he's happily stocking the shelves. December 2022, he went on to open one in Batchley, another area of Redditch. We've got May 2023, where he opened a food bank in Abbeydale, in Redditch, and then Moon's Moat in the June, followed by Churchill at Christmas. And that was him recognising that not everybody could travel, people were struggling to get to his sites, and he just wanted to make the service more accessible and to have enough space to allow for the number of visitors that he was seeing. And of course, he's won a lot of awards for his food banks. There's a few pictures here, business awards, highly commended at the BBC Awards. He was Aston Villa Foundation's youngest ever community champion in the whole history of them giving out awards. And that's really helped boost his confidence. Meeting all these different people has helped his speech. So he was able to give a little speech, stood on stage, thanking people. And it's just been absolutely amazing for him personally, and to watch him grow and develop such a successful business by the age of 12. And I'm going to finish off before I take any questions with just a little video, and I'm hoping you get the audio on this because it really sums up for me what Isaac is all about.
This is my friends. Still get a lot of friends and friends, and I'm chasing sweet. Everybody's worried about me. Too deep. I say I'm in too deep. It's been 2 years. I miss my heart.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Claire. I'll just let you, in fact, if you press stop share, it might shut that down anyway, if that's what you're trying. There we go. That was wonderful. That was so good. The sound was a little bit distorted on the end with the video, but if that's something that you're able to share, and that's something that, you know, maybe we can all post, because I think that does, it shows that, you know, the side of Isaac. I thought it was brilliant to actually find out more about Isaac and get to know Isaac more. And what I loved was my favorite photo. There's one of him putting some, like, a jar of bolognese or something on a shelf, and he's got like a couple of other jars here, and he's got like a big grin on his face, and that just like literally sums up like what he does and how he feels about it. Loved it. Thank you. Does anyone have any questions for Claire at all? Dill.
Yeah, Claire, thank you for sharing that. It was made me my eyes water, actually. It was really really nice to see. What I wanted to ask was, I've heard of the school he goes to, Rigby Hall. What does his school and his school colleagues think about him? He's doing all this food banks. What's their take on it?
They've been really, really supportive, and we're really blessed with the support that we've had from the school. They celebrate all his little wins and his big ones. His classmates are really supportive, and loves it, you know, when he's been on the telly and things like that. They've all sat and watched it as a class. Yeah, I couldn't ask for more support from the school.
That's really nice to hear, because he's doing all these wonderful things in the community. Sometimes if that's not reinforced by his school, that can be quite demoralizing, but it's nice to hear that they're just supporting him as well as the community are. So yeah, it's nice to hear that. Thank you, Claire.
Judy.
Claire, what an amazing young man. That's incredible that, you know, at his age he's been able to do all of that. My question is really, what can people do to support the charity itself? So, you know, if you can't buy the food and drop it off, are there other ways that people can help you?
Simply sharing posts helps, because you never know who might be on your friends list that can jump in and support. We've been really well blessed with people all over the country that will get in touch, donate through the website. People send him Amazon parcels, which he absolutely loves, getting home from school and there's a parcel of food for him, see what's in there. So anything, you know, there's loads of ways that people can support us. But the most important thing, I think, is to share the story.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Definitely, Martin.
Not really a question, but it always makes you like, we've had this with a few projects that we've worked on. When you look at the start of where they all started from, like from that £40 Aldi shop to what 5 food banks now with 6th one opening, I think it's just really important to always reflect back to how far it's come, because like even though I've obviously known you now for over a year, it's kind of like amazing to see how much it keeps growing and keeps going forward. So yeah.
Thank you. And certainly looking back over that journey is just, it's always incredible to see, you know, what he's achieved.
Definitely. And it's the food bank journey, but it's Isaac's journey from when he was little as well. I think it's understanding both of those that's really, really powerful. And to hear you saying, you know, I think when you do have a child with any challenges, you know, big or small, so often health professionals do focus on the milestones that they're not reaching. And actually the things that they are achieving and the things that they are doing, if you focus on those, like you said, Claire, it gives you a whole different perspective on life. So I think it was nice to be reminded of that as well. And crikey, Isaac at the age of 12 has achieved more than many people do in their entire lifetime. So maybe one particular processing or physical milestone might be slower, might never be reached, but is he achieving some stuff, isn't he? So yeah. One proud mama there. Thank you so much.